DevCon continues for the month of October as well as the hackathon. So we have some interesting guests that are lined up throughout the month. Tonight, we're going to hear from 3 of them. Some interesting stuff. The first one up is Baylie Evans from GBeta. Hello, Baylie.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Rich. How are you?
Good. So, Baylie, you and I go back a couple of hackathons already.
Yeah, I was there, I think, for the first one. This is the 3rd year, right? So I was there for the first one when I worked at the Wyoming Business Council, and I was there trying to make heads or tails of a hackathon and blockchain and all of that. And I'm still not sure I've made heads or tails of it, but I'm trying. And it's always fun to come and see all these guys doing all these cool things that are just going to change the world, and that's so fun to see.
Yep, and we had that in the that big building. What was the name of that building?
Yeah, the arena.
Yeah,
the arena, I think is what it's called. Yeah, it was fun, and it was a big spread out space, and there were cots in the corner, and there were mats and pillows over there, and I remember thinking, surely no one's gonna sleep in there, but turns out, yep, there were people in there taking a nap.
Yeah, they did. Now, that was fun. That was the first one, and that was quite a job. We had to get that thing up and running within a month, and so we had over 400 people show up for the first one. So, this one, we've kind of broken all kinds of records. 97 countries, over 4,500 people-ish
Wow.
at all of the events. 97 countries.
Wow, well done. Well, that's what happens when everything goes virtual, right? You can just attend from anywhere, so that's really great.
Exactly. Yeah. So it made it quite easy. So tell us what is GBeta and what are you up to? I know it's somehow connected to Microsoft, who, by the way, Microsoft is a sponsor and has been a sponsor for the last couple of years as well. So we're appreciative of that. So I'm going to let you explain to these guys what GBeta is. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to do that. Thank you. And thank you for the invitation to do so. Let me share my screen here so I can. All right. Are you guys seeing my screen, I hope? I can't see you, so I'm going to assume that's a yes. So yeah, like I said, thank you very much for allowing me to present about GBeta today. We actually just today kicked off our very first cohort of GBeta teams from Wyoming. So I'm coming off of that high, and that's been a fun day. It's a brand new program in Wyoming. And in order to tell you about GBeta, I kind of have to go up a level and explain Generator. GBeta is a program of Generator. And in order to explain further, I start there. So Generator's mission is to be the best partner for a community to invest in its best and brightest. Put simply, Generator connects startups, founders, musicians, artists, investors, universities, and corporations. It was born in 2012 in Wisconsin by founders who wanted to encourage local investment and connect entrepreneurs with support and capital in their home communities, in the so-called flyover states where startup investment is more difficult to come by than it is in the coasts. The Generator platform, as I'll discuss more in a minute, includes a whole suite of programming designed to build up a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem. As I said, it was founded in 2012. It has grown tremendously and now offers programs in about 20 different communities across Middle America now, including Wyoming. We get to add our name in there. As well as Canada, and we're working on opening a couple of markets in the European, or a couple of programs in the European markets as well. Generator has made 101 investments in those projects and has created 3,000 plus jobs. We've invested more than $400 million in follow-on financing, and 90% of Generator graduates have gone on to raise at least $50,000 or have been acquired. And you'll see on the bottom some statistics there that aren't always shared in presentations like this. It's an effort to be socially conscientious and help drive positive change. So Generator tracks and is transparent about several demographics about our founders, including race and gender. We're working to improve these numbers, of course, and we're making an effort to reach as much diversity as possible. And we believe that by sharing these statistics, we'll encourage others to do so as well. Generator is considered one of the nationally ranked top 15 accelerator programs in the United States. So going back to the programming that I mentioned, the Generator platform includes pre-accelerators, accelerators, corporate programming, conferences, and fellowships. We've also just this week actually launched what will be a 5th column in this slide called upskilling, which will be running in several areas around the nation, including in Wyoming. Upskilling is a free training program to help residents get critical digital skills for in-demand jobs. Microsoft is also a big sponsor of that program, and I'll get more into the details on that in a minute. The Generator flagship accelerator and the brandery, the little G and the B there that you see under the accelerator category, those are the full-time accelerator programs that exchange investment for a portion of a company's equity. GBeta, as you can see, falls into one of the pre-accelerator categories there. So now focusing back in a little bit more on GBeta specifically. GBeta is a free program. It does not cost our founders any fees, and nor do they give up any equity for this program to participate. It's a 7-week part-time program for early stage companies with local roots. And by local, in this case, I mean all of Wyoming. I keep telling people I wish I could go back in time and ask them to change the title to GBeta Wyoming, because it would be easier to explain that. But we are a statewide program. It's called GBeta Cheyenne, but we welcome companies from all over the state to participate. We cap each program at 5 startup teams. That's in order to ensure a very custom and concierge service. It really is designed to meet our founders where they are, wherever they are, and help them grow. GBeta offers a sort of condensed format of the full-time flagship Generator accelerator that I mentioned earlier. GBeta is the 7-week program, and during those 7 weeks, the participants will meet with 30+ different mentors in sort of a speed dating format. They get to meet with each one for about 20 minutes, about 5 different mentors each week for this first 6 weeks. They also get to meet with businesses and entrepreneurial experts from Generator, as well as do weekly lunch and learn events and meetings with 30+ investors in the final week. And those are one-on-one, sort of similar speed dating style mentor pitches. And then, of course, a public pitch night and ongoing support from Generator's nationwide network of startups, mentors, and investors. And that's probably our most valuable part of the package, is that, once you're a GBeta family, you're a GBeta family forever. So you get to be plugged into that network for as long as, forever, hopefully. These are just some of the markets that GBeta is operating in right now. And as of today, I suppose, we get to add Wyoming to that list. So that's really exciting to be a part of this nationwide program. GBeta graduates, so the companies that have come through GBeta come from all over the country. They represent a wide variety of demographics. And fortunately, very soon, we'll be adding a lot of little red marks to the Wyoming section on this map, as soon as we get some graduates from our program that launched today. This is just 4 of dozens of GBeta portfolio companies. Pretty Litter, maybe you've seen on Facebook. They have some good social media advertising. Geno Palette is another one, and then there's a couple of blockchain companies there that have graduated from GBeta that I thought might be of particular interest to this group. So, getting into the relationship with Microsoft that Rich mentioned, we are often asked how we are able to bring GBeta for free to our founders, and that's because of sponsors. They essentially purchase the programs for their communities to help create jobs, spur creativity and innovation, and ultimately help their towns thrive. Sponsors can include corporations, universities, nonprofits, etc. So Microsoft essentially bought the GBeta program from Generator to bring it to Wyoming. So Microsoft has a strong presence in Wyoming, of course, and so Microsoft has a stake in seeing our state do well in creating a thriving economic ecosystem. Supporting entrepreneurship is a huge part of creating that ecosystem. So as you can see, Dennis Ellis, I won't read the quote to you, but if you know Dennis, be sure to thank him for really spearheading this project and bringing it to Wyoming, because it was a lot of his doing. We will be running 2 cohorts per year in Wyoming. So 2 cohorts of 5 teams each year in Wyoming. So like I said, we just launched one today. we'll be launching the second one in the spring. So our goal, what do we want from our GBeta companies? GBeta's goal is that in the year following their graduation from the program, our goal metric is that at least 1/3 of our teams will go on to be accepted into a full-time equity-based accelerator or to raise a seed round of at least $50,000, or, and you can add on to the slide, or be acquired. Currently, more than half of our GBeta graduates do hit that metric. And there are 384 companies that have raised $109 million so far to date. So who applies for GBeta? Really, anyone that individual or team that's building something new in Wyoming should apply, particularly, but not always, if they're interested in growing really big, really fast, and potentially taking on venture capital investment. A lot of times people don't know if that's the path for them, and that's fine. We are happy to sort of walk you through that and look at the pros and cons of that. I will also be having office hours each month, which you can find. I'll have my website at the end of the presentation here. Part of my job is to do those office hours with individuals and either help them build their companies into something that's ready for GBeta, or discuss the pros and cons of whichever path they may choose. And as Rich mentioned, I'm brand new in this position. I have a whole team of people who have a lot more experience than I do in this, so I'll be definitely calling on them to help out answer some questions as well. So, of course, besides the founders themselves, GBeta takes a village of support from mentors who share their expertise and passions, investors who bolster and believe in new ideas, and sponsors who see potential in their communities. So if you know of anyone, that's me. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk more. Like I said, part of my job is just to be here and help build this this ecosystem that's getting some momentum in Wyoming. So please just reach out, tell me what you're up to and what your questions are, and hopefully I can be of help. That's my presentation. If I can figure out how to stop sharing.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, thanks, Baylie. So what I took out of that is that of all of the graduates, they, on average, raised $285,000. You had 384 graduates raising 109 million. So that's breaks down to 285, just short of 285.
I'll trust your math on that. That sounds pretty good. I think the whole point of, people ask us all the time, are companies actually raising money after they've completed GBeta? And our answer is yes, they are. Our metrics are good. We're really proud of our companies who are, our teams who are working really hard and having success. So
yeah. And why it's timely for people in the hackathon is, the whole idea of the hackathon from its very inception was about creating jobs in Wyoming, right? And so creating new businesses in Wyoming. And so by doing some of this development, meeting these challenges that are put in front of them, hopefully out of that comes some great ideas that people can start sinking their teeth into building a business around. And from there, go to places like GBeta. There's help out there in the ecosystem. So you're not alone once you win the hackathon. Yeah,
absolutely. And a lot of the times people have these ideas or they're doing this research, but they don't necessarily know that it's commercializable research, or that they could make some money, they could build a business off of this idea or this tech. So we're here to try to help realize that if that's part of the goal. It's no secret, of course, that Wyoming is facing some serious challenges, and diversification is really important right now, as all of you guys know. So the more we can do to meet that goal, the better we're all going to be. So
exactly, yeah. And during the hackathon, during the Wyoming Stampede, Governor Gordon on Friday morning, he signed the proclamation on economic diversification. Right, so it truly is a goal of this event to diversify the economy and to provide jobs, and the best way to do that is through building startups.
Yeah.
Right? So the work you guys are doing, it's going to be exciting. How's your first cohort look?
We just started. So it's really exciting. They have some really great ideas, some sort of deep tech, Internet of Things, sort of some things that are happening. I can't tell you yet. The announcement of the 5 will be on Monday, so I'm
That's
anxious
fine.
to let everyone know. But it's a really good combination of teams, and they come from a diverse background, and they come from all over the state, and they all have some really great ideas for how they're going to change the world.
Are you guys meeting virtually then, or what?
Yeah, this first cohort is all virtual, and my plan is for most of it to be virtual, even in the future. Wyoming is way too big to be expecting people to be driving across the state all the time, so it'll be, hopefully we'll have some in person, but mostly it'll be virtual in the future too.
Yeah. So are you guys going to then have like demo days and so forth?
Yeah, there'll be a pitch night, and that will be November 19th, I believe. It's a Thursday evening. So that will be public. Definitely invite everyone to come.
Yeah, make sure I get an invite. November. I'm going to mark it down here right now.
Yeah, write it down right now. It'll be virtual. So, I mean, all these countries even can come and watch this pitch night. Our particular one, a lot of other programs, their pitch night is kind of a contest, right? You like prepare, and then there's a winner at the end of pitch night. And ours isn't quite that way. We build up all of our teams, and they all get to pitch, and they all get to invite investors and invite their friends and family, and invite everyone they've ever met if they want to, and they all kind of come and they get cheered on, and then from there we go on to some investor meetings and things like that. So. Awesome. It's going to be really fun. Yeah.
What we did this year too, also part of the ecosystem is, especially in the blockchain space, we initiated a Wyoming chapter of Bid Angels. And Bid Angels is where they get to pitch to angel investors. And it's we did the first one on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and there was quite a bit of interest in some of the companies and some follow-on discussions going on. So it's all good stuff happening in Wyoming.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to be a part of it, and here to help too. So even if you're not necessarily in the G-Beta program, if you're trying for that program, the Angel program, and you just want someone to run your pitch by, please just send me an email, sign up for office hours or whatever it is, and we'll get together and be happy to just put another pair of eyes on it if that's helpful.
So where are you officing? Are you in the Cheyenne area?
I am in Cheyenne, and I get to be, my office is at the Array School up on the 4th floor.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
really fun and very collaborative, and especially when we get to be back in person, it'll be extra fun.
Tell Eric we want to have him on the show.
I will. I think he's getting back from Jackson today, so because they had their big today too. So
yeah, sometime during the DevCon, we'd love to have him come on the show.
All right, I'll try to let him know.
All right. Okay. Well, that gives us a couple of minutes to put in your final invitation to the teams. When should they be applying for the next cohort?
Yep. So you can apply now, actually. There are rolling applications. If you go to that website, gbeta-startups.com/Cheyenne, you can go ahead and apply. I would encourage you to sign up for office hours first so that I can kind of explain what you're getting yourselves into. So there's also a link on that website just to sign up on my calendar for a quick office hours meeting, and we'll just chat through what your idea is and what G-Beta is and how it might help you. The next cohort, we don't have an exact date yet, but I'm thinking the deadline will be sometime in the spring, and then we'll kick off shortly after. So that's the plan. If you've got some great ideas, let me know.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully some good stuff comes out of the hackathon at the end of October. Our last day finals are the 24th. So you'll be hearing. Make sure you show up, and have Dennis come too on the 24th for the grand.
Dennis I meant to say Dennis sent his best as well. He was booked up today, but he would have been here to say hello to himself. But I'll give him your.
Yeah, please do. All right. With that, thank you so much, Baylie, and we're going to bid you adieu. Take care. Let's Join Han. Hello. Let's put you up. Let's take you off mute.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Yes.
Good, good, good.
So
what's best? Did I share a screen or are you going to put the presentation on? I got
you
10
can
slides.
you can share a screen, and I'm going to let you take it away. Go.
Okay, let me share a screen. Great. I'm going to share this screen. And you should be seeing, let me know. Do you see a presentation? Rich, do you see a presentation?
Not yet.
Okay.
Hit the share screen button.
Yeah, done that. Hang on. Okay, I'm clicking on, and I'll share this one. Do you see it now?
Not yet.
What do you see? Us?
I see us.
Oh, that's not
Two
good.
handsome fellas, you know, just kicking it on a Friday night.
I know, man. I know. I got the worst slot. You know, everybody's asleep. Hang on. Share screen. That's what I'm doing. This is funny. Okay, keynote. Let me see if I could just share the keynote. You still see me instead of my presentation?
Yep.
Oh God, that's a bummer. Okay, I uploaded the presentation.
Did.
Oh, sorry, I got it. I got it. I'm embarrassed to say that I need to quickly do a setting change here. This is the new privacy stuff that kicked in with Apple. Okay,
yep.
with Apple. So I'm doing this right now. Hang in there.
Okay, once you share your screen, there'll be a little bar in the middle of it. And make sure you hit the hide button.
Yeah, I'm going to security and privacy. And I'm going to open this up right now. Privacy. And now I need to enable screen recording in Google Chrome.
We lose we lose more speakers that way. He hit the wrong button and just plain disappeared. So it's gonna be worth it when he shows up. He's talking about Series Llcs and the process they have for creating free ones. So here he comes back.
I do apologize, but this should work now. So
All
this is, hey, this is good. This is Apple protecting our privacy. How does this look now? Can you see a presentation now? Yeah, can you see this now?
Yeah, we can see it. You need to go full screen.
Like this, right? Okay,
yep.
We can go quick. So this is basically a presentation I've done pretty much in Stanford a little while ago, where we introduced the world premiere, if you want, of our on-chain real world LLC in Wyoming and in Delaware. And so let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing at Autonomous and then how we got to engineer Autoco, our assembler. So what we do is basically we are a formation agent. We have been helping the blockchain and the crypto community since about, 2018, setting up their entities around the world in all the major jurisdictions. And as happens, this is actually a very big market. And it's not such a sexy market. And we actually quite like it that it's not a very sexy market. We like businesses that are a little bit less glamorous occasionally. And so ours is, but it's also entirely analog. Everything to do with company formation is still very much driven by paper, as you will know. And so to illustrate this, this is kind of on the left panel, a share certificate of the very first joint stock company. This was back in Holland. I'm a Dutch speaker myself. And if I look at how this compares to a share certificate of one of our clients in the British Virgin Islands, it's actually pretty much the same. You know, it's still that sort of official looking paper like a bond certificate. And my point is, nothing in this industry has actually been digitized in the same way that, for instance, the travel industry has been digitized. And so this is a space that is so ready to be eaten by software. However, how come technology hasn't quite reached the company services, the registered agent, the company formation space? One, we believe, Rich, is definitely because there's inertia. You know, people are kind of like, oh, if I do this in a digital way, is this going to be valid? Like in the same way that when we first printed our boarding pass, we were a bit worried that it was not like a valid boarding pass where we had it on our phone instead of printing it. But the second is definitely also infrastructure. Okay, I assume you can hear me okay? Rich, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. You're doing fine.
Good, thank you. So I just wanted to make sure that I was not talking to the wall here. So the second is definitely infrastructure. As so happens, the governments have a monopoly on state registries, and they're the only ones that can issue these birth certificates for companies. And it's not different in Wyoming. Now, we kind of work with all the major jurisdictions around the world, and we do have a good way of comparing. And Wyoming is easy, but you still need the state registry to issue a birth certificate for a company, except if you actually work with Series Llcs, because Series Llcs are spun up by just using a contract between a master and the children, between the master and the series. And so in our sort of obsession with making it easier, quicker, faster, and cheaper to incorporate entities around the world, we settled on Wyoming, because what you can do there is you can basically condense the time it takes and the cost of setting up a valid legal entity, which can work as a limited liability wrapper around projects, okay? Typically crypto projects. And so very briefly, how do you do it? We only need an Ethereum wallet. You basically send a transaction from, in this example, my wallet. I send it to autoco.eth, which is our smart contract to theirs. That smart contract is spinning up a series out of our master, which is a Wyoming incorporated LLC as a master. And kind of 6 seconds later, you got a new series, in this case called Han LLC. And the owner of the series is effectively the wallet that I have used to make that first transaction. So by having, instead of a physical member setting up a company, we managed to have people set up companies entirely on chain, just using their Ethereum wallet. Now, I could demo this, but I think we're going to run a little bit out of time. But I invite everybody who looks at this or replays this to just go to autoco.io, connect with your MetaMask, and you can actually spin up a real world entity, both in Wyoming and in Delaware. And since we launched, we have been able to have 95, we only launched in July, 95, so close to 100 actual LLCs spun up using this technology. So really, really very excited about this. Final 2 slides. Formation is only the start. You know, we want to go to funding. We want to go to governance. And so we believe, and this has been a consistent theme in this conference, in this Stampede, that the role of registration agents, formation agents, company service providers could actually be perfectly replaced by blockchain as a superior ledger to any centralized database or any stack of analog papers to keep track of who are your members of the LLC, who are you sending shares to, how do you govern your company. And so I want to conclude with a number of questions, which I hope people help us explore. There is a very interesting approach to identity in the United States, which we don't see anywhere around the world, where basically you let people spin up a company with any identity they pretend to have, and only further down the line Do you check if they are effectively who they are, who they say they are? And that has allowed us to set up these entities without that stop-start process of know your customer and upload your passport copy and what have you. We're all aware, at least in the legal community, I'd say, we're aware about the recognition of series generally. The second point about, is the series effectively insulated from other series, from the master, if something were to go wrong at that level. There's an issue with the naming of series in Wyoming, which is a little bit of a stickler, but we worked around it, but you've got to use the LLC name, the master in your name. How do I sue a series LLC? You can sue pretty much the way you would sue a standalone LLC. But the critical one is, how do you provide proof of ownership of one of these LLCs that have been spun up by using your wallet? Because you do not have a name on the formation certificate. You have only a wallet address when you do this with us. And so these issues we're exploring right now. We're even seeing some clients trying to open a bank account for this on-chain LLC. But we do believe that we're kind of contributing to building what we call the Stargate, that Stargate between the legacy world and how we think companies will be spun up in the future, pretty much like a dApp or an app that you install on your computer, on your phone. So anybody who wants to reach out, contribute to the debate, we'd be more than happy. Just email me or look us up on Telegram. That's pretty much it from us, Rich.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I have 101 questions.
Okay, go ahead. Start with the first one, and then you and I speak offline.
Okay, why? Why did you do this in the first place?
Because there is a tremendous demand for legal entities and legal wrappers. Okay, so what we see is that a lot of the people in the crypto community, they set off thinking they don't need a legal entity. They think they can just live on chain. Turns out, if you do that, you may actually be seen as being an unlimited partner in a partnership. Now, who in their right mind wants to be an unlimited partner? You don't want to be an unlimited partner. I don't want to be an unlimited partner, because if something goes wrong, you will have a bailiff knock on your door. So you want to have a quick, limited liability wrapper around your project. And guess what? The 94 people who are using Autoco right now, they're using it sometimes to just wrap one smart contract. Or some use it in a more traditional way to park an IP or a trademark. And so it's this flash entity idea that press a button, you got a company, to reduce the cost and increase the speed of setting up legal containers. That's been kind of our mission throughout.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if
100 more to go. Say again.
Question number 2, if I understood it correctly, it's a series under your master. That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would like to see is the ability to set up my own master and spin up instant series.
It's a very good point, and you guess where we are sort of next on our roadmap. So we will effectively give you that ability. You guessed that right, because there is demand out there, again, from the crypto and blockchain community in the first place to set up their master and then set up the children. Now, let me just make one point very clear, though. We are not in any way members of any of the series. We have no influence whatsoever. We are basically just giving those series a registered address and a registered agent in Wyoming by having the master incorporated in Wyoming, one of our companies. The typical use case for a Series LLC is some real estate developer who owns the developer company on top and then is a member of each of the underlying series. We refurbished this use case and we made sure that we are not in any way involved with the series. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and from my perspective, any serious LLC that I would set up, I would not set up under somebody else's master.
Sure, we do.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But you bring up some use cases that are kind of interesting. If you're just wrapping a smart contract, that may be really an interesting way to do it.
Yep. We had a client, if I can just add, we had a number of clients who spun up an entity quickly with us in Wyoming to do a soft offering. So a simple agreement for future token. They needed an issuing vehicle. They spun it up. It cost them $35 in gas fee. That was last week. But it is a use case, and it's a valid use case. You may want to have that legal shield when you do something like that. And so you avail yourself of one of these instant entities.
Yeah, yeah. So how would you see some of our hackathon participants using this tool?
Well, I think they should all spin one up and have one. So this is kind of like a dream use case for any accelerator, incubator, hackathon. When you ask people to at some point incorporate to attract the first investors in, to maybe write a simple agreement for future tokens, whatever it may be, I think it could be a very useful way in a sort of a Y Combinator way that Y Combinator wants you to set up a C Corp, to set up a Wyoming LLC. And apart from that, there is also a fair bit of smart contract development under the hood of what we've done. As you can imagine, there is that test tube that you have to basically inseminate, to use that analogy, to spin up that series, that child. And so that's an interesting use case for smart contracts from a technical point of view.
Right. Now, of course, none of this is legal advice.
Mine is not legal advice. We did make sure, though, that when you spin up a company on Autoco, at the end of the process, and it takes literally 6 seconds, you have a PDF with your operating agreement. So there's a very clear legal nexus that you can fall back on that shows that your company is a validly incorporated Wyoming LLC. So we're big fans of what's happening in Wyoming, and whichever way we can contribute, we'll be there. We're based here in Vancouver, in Canada.
All right. Well, that was quite interesting, and we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Reg.
We'll be finishing this thing up on October 24th, so make sure you show up for the grand finale.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And is this recorded in any way? Is this something we can replay to some people who weren't able to make it? Great.
Yep. It'll be out with all the other content.
Very good. Look forward to being in contact.
Yeah. So that's our show for tonight. The DevCon will continue Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Mountain Daylight Time, up until the 24th, when we will have the final winners of the hackathon. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you Monday for an interview with Encore Environmental Green. That'll be at 5:30 Monday. See you right here. Cheers.